There is a specific kind of tiredness that comes after certain meetings. Not the tiredness from working hard, not the tiredness from a long day either. It is the tiredness that comes from performing, from walking into a room and spending the entire time managing how you look. Am I coming across well? Did that land the way I intended? Am I sounding confident enough? And here's the painful part: the more important the meeting, the more you perform. The more you perform, the less of you actually shows up. And the people in that room can feel that difference. In this video, I want to show you why this happens to even the most capable professionals and what shifts when you stop trying to appear confident and start trying to be genuinely be present. Give me your next 8 to 10 minutes. Here is what is actually happening when you perform at work. And I say perform not as a criticism, it is a completely understandable response to a high stakes situation. But it has a cost. The moment you start monitoring yourself, did that sound right? Was that confident enough? Am I taking up too much of space? You stop being present. You're physically in the meeting, but your attention is somewhere else altogether. It is turned inward, watching yourself, evaluating yourself, managing yourself. And the meeting, the actual conversation, the real signals from the people in front of you is happening without your full attention. I have watched this pattern across 30 years of working with professionals at every level. The one who struggles most in high stake rooms are almost never the least capable. They are the ones most intensely focused on how they appear. So, why does this happen? And why does it get worse the more senior the audience is? Most professionals carry two versions of themselves at work. The first is who they actually are, the person who explains things clearly to a trusted colleague, who asks a good question in a relaxed conversation, who listens well when they are not being evaluated. The second is the corporate version, the one they construct for important rooms, the polished, careful performance ready self of theirs. The wider that gap is, the more energy it takes to maintain it. And more the energy goes into maintaining the performance, the less is available for actual communication. That is why people often say they communicate better in informal settings than in formal ones. Well, it's not a skill issue. The skill is there. What is missing is permission to bring it out. And here is where it gets more important. We do not always register this consciously, but we all sense it. When someone is fully present, listening, thinking, responding to what actually is happening, the room settles. People lean in. When someone is performing, monitoring, managing, controlling, the room feels it too. There's a slight distance, a thickness in the air. Something is happening, but it is not quite landing. No one ever says at the end of a meeting, that was a really confident presentation. They say, she really listened. He got straight into what mattered. I like she was talking to me, not at me. Presence is what people remember. Confidence is just the word they use when they cannot identify it precisely. Let me show you what this looks like in a real life situation. Imagine two professionals, both senior managers at the same organization, both presenting a project update to the leadership team. Same data, same outcome, same room. The first one is Arjun. Arjun is technically excellent. He knows his work better than anyone else in the building. He has spent 2 evenings preparing for this presentation. He has rehearsed every slide. He has anticipated every question. And when he walks into that room, he is managing. He is watching the expressions of the leaders across the table. He is monitoring his own posture. He is tracking whether each point has landed well. He gives his update, clear, complete, structured. And when it is over, he walks out feeling vaguely unsatisfied. He cannot explain why. He did everything right, but something felt slightly off. Now meet Priya. Priya is in the same role, same experience as Arjun. She did not spend 2 evenings preparing, she spent one. But before she walked into the room, she did something very different. She asked herself a single question: what does this group actually need from me today? Not how do I come across, not what will impress them, just what do they need. And when she walked in, her complete attention was on them, not on herself. She noticed that one of the leaders looked distracted. She adjusted her opening to bring him directly. She paused when she saw a question forming on someone's face. She said, I can see you want to push back on something. Please do. Her presentation was not more polished than Arjun's, but she was more present, and the room felt it. After the meeting, one of the leaders mentioned her by name in a separate conversation, not because of the data that she presented, because of how it felt to be in the room with her. I want you to think about the meetings you have coming up this week. Which version of yourself are you planning to bring? Many professionals work like the way Arjun did. And I say this with genuine understanding, not as criticism. We were taught to prepare, we were taught to rehearse, we were taught that effort shows up as polish. But no one ever taught us that presence is a different discipline entirely. Arjun was preparing his performance, Priya was preparing her attention. Think of it like a good tour guide. A great tour guide does not spend the entire tour reciting from memory. They watch the group, they read the room, they notice who is curious, who is confused, who needs a moment. The content is the same, but the experience is completely different because the guide is actually there. That is the difference between performing and communicating. So, here is what I want you to take from this video. Presence is not something you perform, it is what happens when you stop watching yourself and start paying attention to the room. The goal was never to appear confident, the goal was always to be genuinely be useful. And when that becomes your focus, confidence follows. It is the outcome, not the input. Here are three things you can try from today. Number one, take a strengths inventory before your next important meeting. Ask yourself, where do I already communicate well? With which person, in which setting do I feel most like myself? Instead of preparing a new version of yourself for the room, bring the version that already works. That version is already inside you. You're not building something new. You are giving yourself permission to bring what already is there. 2. Change the question you walk in with. Instead of asking, how do I come across today? Ask, what does this group actually need from me? One question turns your attention inward, the other one turns it outward. Try it once, notice what shifts for you. And 3. Name your style instead of hiding it. If you tend to go straight into the point, say so. I usually get straight into the details. Let me know if you want more context at any point. Instead of apologizing for who you are, just give people the map. Self awareness signals safety, and safety is what presence actually feels like to people in the room with you. The most powerful communicators I have ever observed were not the most polished ones, they were the most present ones. If something in this video felt like familiar, hit the like button. It tells me that this kind of conversation is worth continuing. And if you want one video every week that gives you a real picture of what actually drives career growth and leadership presence, subscribe. No fluff, just what I have seen work from the other side of the table over 30 years. And if you know someone who is preparing hard for something right now, share this with them. Sometimes one shift in perspective changes everything. I will see you in some other video. Bye for now.